up, kittens? It's your girl Redavyn. Just want to do a video on relating and coping with lupus. And I'm going to start off with a little bio of saying that when I was smaller, I used to be a sickly kid. And I'm not talking hospitalized for weeks and days at a time. I'm talking having on and off bouts with bronchitis, but not severe to the point where I had to be bound to a bed, or hospital bound or whatever. As I got older, I may have had one cold a year, if that, but my recovery time was a lot longer. Moving on up into the diagnosis of having lupus, my reaction certainly wasn't crying or anything, because I'm not, I don't emote well. I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm human. Yeah, I do cry, but it's just not one of those things that I do all the time. So it wasn't something that hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks, but it wasn't enough for me to cry about, only because with the symptoms that I was going through. At best, I just knew that they was going to say diabetes, only because it runs in my family. Diabetes, high blood pressure. My grandmother had gout. My mother had Graves' disease, stuff like that. And as far as my father's side of the family, there has been quite a bit of drug addiction. So I don't necessarily know medically what all they had wrong, if they had anything medically wrong, because drug addiction 9 times out of 10 is recreational. So it ain't nothing medical about that. When I got my diagnosis, I guess I felt indifferent, because I think I was just trying to, process the whole situation. I wasn't scared. And then what helps too, I've had close to 13 years of a medical experience, being a medical assistant and stuff, and phlebotomist and stuff like that. Well, having that background, made it a little easier to deal with. And for me, everybody's different, but for me, because I know that lupus is a real thing. I have a couple of friends that have lupus. So I was kind of already educated on the situation. But of course, I always do, I'm a Googling fool, honey. I'm a Google lawyer, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever diagnosis or whatever's going on, even my lab work, I Google, because I want to know all the way down. Certain lab work I do know about, but most of it I don't, especially when you're moving into a specialized situation like rheumatology, dealing with, conditions of the joints and muscles or whatever. Again, when I got hit with the diagnosis, it was just more or less okay, well, at least with all the symptoms that I've talked about in my previous videos, at least I can put a name on it. I could figure out what it is. I can Google it and try to be a little more proactive and see what it is that I can do. And it also helps that I have such a supporting husband, friends, and family system set up. I realize people don't always have that. And being able to relate to somebody, because of course, when you're considered well, when you come across somebody that you care about, or somebody that you've known for a long time, and they hit you with a situation like, oh, I have lupus or something like that, you never, you can't relate, for one, because if you're not going through the symptoms yourself, you never think to put yourself in that person's shoes. We can hit ourselves with hypothetical situations all day long, but if you're not actively going through that, the only thing you can do is just empathize or sympathize with that situation. I've never been a person that when I try to sympathize with people, I hit them with them, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that, this, that, and the third. First of all, that's something that you say to people when somebody dies. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dead yet, and I don't plan on dying anytime soon, because medicine and medical field, y'all all know, is ever evolving and ever changing. I don't have a bigger fear as if this was something that just fell out of the sky and nobody's ever heard of it before, so they don't know what meds to give me, and stuff like that. I'm just a person that tries to live in the positive no matter how much I'm going through, and trust me, I've gone through quite a bit, but I'm always built for it tough. I've always been a strong-willed person, strong-minded person. So this is just another thing that's on the plate. And I'm not saying it dumbing it down like it's not that serious, because yes, I do understand that it can be a fatal situation. However, the silver lining is it's also a livable situation. So as long as I'm being proactive and trying to stay on top of things, I know that I'll be okay. And again, I have the best support system set up in my life, That's never been an issue for me, so that makes things a whole lot better. Finding somebody to relate to, as far as being sick, is like finding a needle in a haystack. Because again, when I was a well person, I couldn't relate to waking up every day in pain and stuff like that. If I had it was more than just having a headache, waking up to a headache, waking up to a backache, as far as I can take Motrin or a Tylenol or something like that and get rid of the pain, and be good for the rest of the day, the week, or whatever. This legit is like real life. You know what I'm saying? This is like real pain that you wake up with. This is not something that I wish on my worst enemy or anybody, because at the end of the day, I ain't gonna say that I never thought that this would happen to me, but I also know that I'm not invincible. So at best, I really didn't think this was it. Diabetes and high blood pressure runs in my family. My grandmother had gout. My mother had Graves' disease. Moving towards, like I said, relating to other people, it's just hard to find, because most of the times when your well friends or family members hear that you have this diagnosis, the first thing they want to say is, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Or I have gotten, well, you just pray about it. We're just going to pray about it. We're just going to keep you up in prayer, and we're not going to claim. First of all, this is a note to everybody that's not suffering from any kind of condition. First of all, feel blessed and privileged, because it can always happen to you. Don't ever think you're invincible. Just that quick, when I got my diagnosis, guess what? I laid down well and I woke up sick, and it just happened just that quick. Now, this could have been an accumulation of things, I'm sure, because it's not something that just instantly happens. This is a buildup of time of stress, you know what I'm saying, of maybe not taking care of yourself. And I was a person that I always try to stay on top of getting my physicals, my pap smears, and everything. But that just goes to show you can do everything by the book. Just like when you become a pregnant woman, you can take every prenatal vitamin that they sell on the shelf, prescribed by a doctor, whatever, and you can still come out with a baby with problems. Nothing is ever guaranteed in this life, and there's no such thing as perfection. Down to people who couldn't necessarily relate. Like even with my husband, I can use every adjective in the book of how I'm feeling. But again, if he's never went through that kind of pain, or he doesn't wake up in that kind of pain, again, he cannot relate. And he understands that, but the fact that he's so proactive in it, that he's, picking up where I done left off, or where I can't pick up myself, having my back, what I'm saying, being the king that he is, it makes dealing with this a lot better, because I could have been married to worse, to somebody who just was like, because I'm not gonna lie, he admitted to me, and he was very truthful, and I'm glad for his honesty, that he said that in the beginning, when I was complaining about my hands and stuff like that, he thought that I was just making it all up in my mind. For one, being strong is overrated, so people kind of take that as, okay, it's not like her to complain about stuff like that. Instead of looking at it like that, I don't know how he was processing it in his mind, and he was just feeling like maybe it was all in my head or whatever, and I had to let him know, when have you ever seen me or heard me complain about something like that? But we got past that point, and I wasn't mad. I was actually glad that he told me, because for a while he didn't want to tell me, how he felt. Moving forward to coping, it's still a day-to-day struggle, because I still think with a well mind, and it's like my well mind and my sick body just aren't meshing right now, because things that I knew that I could do beforehand, sometimes I wake up and just assume that, this is not a bad dream, but, just get up and just be able to do what I want to do, without any complications. And waking up stiff and in pain will knock you on your ass real quick. That reality kicks in in no time, because where I didn't have these issues, I didn't even have to take an aspirin unless I needed to, for a headache or back pain or something like that. Now I'm on all these different meds, 4 or 5 different meds, and I just didn't see this for my life, which is why I created the Purple Heartz group pages on Facebook and Instagram, and they're both open pages. Anybody's welcome to join, whether you're an autoimmune sufferer or you just want to show them support, because a lot of the times people don't have anybody they can come to. Some people have come to me and told me it had been months, almost a year or so, before they even revealed that something was wrong. But to have to experience this kind of pain, something that you don't wish on your worst enemy, it's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to deal with. And again, I'm still thinking with a well mind a lot of the times, because when I get a good burst of energy, I'm just doing. And then it ends up I'm overexerting myself, because I'm not realizing, okay, Reg, you need to put that on chill, because you're not in the same condition that you were in. 4 or 5 months ago. And it sucks. It really sucks. And in creating those pages, I just want to be able to create a place for people to just come, because there's still people, even though we probably suffer the same things, there's people that hit my DMs and are like, I'm so glad that you created this page, even though it's 1,000,001 pages like that, I'm sure. But I think I try to do different things. I don't make it solely just based off of me having lupus. I try to post meals that I've cooked, recipes, suggestions. We interact quite a bit. If you know anybody that needs that kind of support, like, support is always needed. I don't care who it is. Even as strong as I am, I can always use a shoulder to lean on myself, because I have a lot of down days. And as of lately, I've been hurting every morning when I get up. But I pull the strength and I pull the energy from out of somewhere. I get it from somewhere, and a lot of it comes from my daughter. I have a child that'll be almost 2 years old in October, and you have to be energized around kids. You have to find it, because she don't know no better. She didn't ask for this. The fact that I'm so glad that she came before I even found out about my diagnosis, because like I've said before, that'd have been a scary thing to have to deal with. Taking meds on top of being pregnant. Pregnancy already takes a lot out of you as is. The fact that I would have known, I probably wouldn't have had another baby, because I'd have been too scared. I wouldn't have wanted to put any stress on that baby anymore, on myself. So coping, it's always going to be a day-to-day struggle in a sense, because for me, this is very new. You have people that I've met that have had it well over a decade or whatever, but even still, they appreciate the fact that I waste no time creating a page of support and comfort for others that really, really need it. No matter if you've been going through it 100 years or 1 year, you can always use a person that can not only relate to what you're going through, but, just somebody to just air your grievances to, because this shit is real. It is very real. And the last thing you want to hear when you're sick is, you want to pray, we'll pray about it and things like that. It's not like I can stop my medicines. Ask God for a prescription of prayer and it's just going to go away. Now, I do believe that prayer works. I'm a very spiritual person, but I also, God gave me common sense enough to know that I'm dealing with something real and that I need to accept it and treat it as such. So again, coping is not always going to be easy, and I'm still going to have some days where I'm still confused and don't understand why I'm going through what I'm going through. Sometimes I'm like, when my husband got on me about eating more salads or whatever, sometimes I'll be crazy enough to think, or I will have you thinking, you know what, maybe if I just ate that salad, a leaf of lettuce, a slice of orange, sprinkled every damn thing in lemon juice, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe this would not have been happening. Maybe if I just walked that extra mile or those extra 5 minutes, maybe I'd be a lot healthier than what I am. But the fact of the matter is, this was inevitable. You know what I'm saying? This was evidently bound to happen. And nobody foresees being sick or whatever, but when you have it, you have to embrace it. Because, what other choice do you have? I hope that this video in some form, helps somebody. Definitely leave your comments below, like, dislike, comment, rate, subscribe, share this with your loved ones or whatever. And again, my Facebook page and my IG pages are called the Purple Heartz or whatever, and I'll leave the information down below. All right, y'all have a good evening. Peace.